Hello, this is Eleanor Hines, Northbound Beekeeper, lead scientist from Resources, talking with Ben Howard, Environmental Project Manager with the Port of Bellingham. Hi Ben, thank you for helping us with this virtual tour. Can you start by telling us what some of your job responsibilities are as an Environmental Project Manager in regards to toxic cleanup sites?
Hello, yes, my name is Ben Howard, and I'm the Environmental Project Manager for the Port of Bellingham. My main responsibility at the port is managing a variety of cleanup projects, with the goal in Blaine to clean up legacy contamination and revitalize the marine trades industries. I'm the project manager for the CK Fish cleanup site, as well as other cleanup sites in Blaine Harbor. And the port is contracted with Landau Associates as the environmental consultant who will assist with the technical, science, geologic, and engineering work.
Thanks Ben. From this picture, you can see we are looking at the south side of the CK Fish cleanup site, just off Secretson Avenue for this tour stop. This site is located on the western edge of Blaine Harbor. Ben, can you explain how the contamination in this site was discovered and reported?
Yes, previous operations at the site included use of underground storage tanks, known as USTs, and a fish oil processing facility that used a hydraulic press. At the time that the USTs and hydraulic press were removed, it was found that petroleum had been released into the surrounding soils. Two separate independent cleanup actions were then performed to remove contaminated soil. However, due to the presence of buildings and other structures, some contamination remained in place. Then in 2016, there was observations of a sheen in Blaine Harbor, adjacent to the upland areas at the riprap slope under the pier. The sheen was reported by the port to the National Response Center. An environmental reporting and tracking system report was prepared at this time.
Thank you. What happened after you reported the oil sheen? Were there any efforts to clean up right away or stop the seepage of the oil at its source?
Following the reporting, the port deployed a boom to contain the sheen observed at the riprap slope. At the time of the reporting, the source of the sheen was unknown, and this initiated the investigation activities to determine the source and extent of potential contamination that may be present at the property. Following the environmental investigation work, the port coordinated with ecology to further characterize the cleanup and clean up the site under MOTCA. This led to the agreed order that has been developed for public comment.
From what I understand, the port has already conducted some preliminary studies to investigate the contamination found on the site. Can you explain what specific investigations were carried out and what the findings were?
Yes, as I just noted, we initiated the investigation activities to determine the source of the sheen. Our environmental consultant, Landau Associates, was contracted to perform the environmental investigation. And the investigation included a total of 26 subsurface boring locations for observations and select soil and groundwater sampling. The findings indicated the presence of light, non-aqueous phase liquid or free product at the groundwater interface, and soil and groundwater sample results were above screening levels, consistent with MOTCA cleanup levels. Sampling also included areas below the building and indicated the source of sheen in the adjacent water is most likely from the upland petroleum contamination.
Going forward, what do you envision the Port of Bellingham's role to be in the cleanup of CK fish?
The Port of Bellingham's role as the PLP is to clean up the legacy contamination and revitalize the working waterfront. The previous tenants are no longer operating, and the port took control of the property, including some remaining infrastructure, at the time the leases were terminated. The port is working directly with ecology and have developed an agreed order to formally characterize the contamination at the site and develop a plan for cleanup.
Can you describe what the current use of this site is and what you or the port envision the site to look like in the future?
Sure. Yeah, the current use of the site is mainly seafood processing. and we envision the cleanup of legacy contamination will revitalize the property for the expansion of marine trades, including future seafood processing.
Is there anything else you'd like to share?
Yeah, I'll add to say thanks for your efforts to prepare and organize this virtual tour. Ideally, we would all like to have a site visit in person to provide the project details and answer any questions.
Well, thanks so much for joining us on this tour today, Ben. Kristen will next talk with the Department of Ecology Site Manager, Chris Matthews, so be sure to stay tuned for more information in Stop 5. Thanks so much for joining us.